Put your red shirt on and a brown coat too. Everybody joining the crew. We got just one drink that we rule them all. Hope you'll remember your towels. Get your Uru hammers and your Middle Earth guns. A sonic screwdriver or a sword +1. Use Valerian steel if it will get you to come. To the pit tank. To the pit tank. The Rocky Mountain pit tank.
Hi, I'm Troy.
Hi, I'm Alex.
And this is Rocky Mountain Geek Tank. Once again, your guileless-sized podcast.
Guileless or guileless?
Guile, maybe both. Maybe we're guileless and guileless. I prefer Chun-Li over Guile anyway.
I was a beast with Guile back in the classic arcade days.
Sonic Boom!
Sonic Boom, Flash Kick, always charging, always
Nice.
ready.
Well, our topic tonight, we're going to wait and see who shows up in our comment section. We're expecting our usual awesome fan, Brent, but tonight, of course, would be the night he doesn't show up.
Womp womp.
That'd be pretty funny. But anybody happens to show up, if you wish to ask us any questions in the comment section there, in the chat section, we will do our best to answer them for you. Sort of what Reddit calls the Ask Me Anything type dealio. But besides that, we, Alex and myself, have not plotted anything for tonight. So, hey, there he is.
Hooray!
But yeah, just the only real things that it's not really so much geeky, other than the fact that it's science based. Europe is on fire and burning to death because of the massive heat wave and
Boo.
the having lived in Germany. I remember this, of course, was in the 89 through 91. I was like, why aren't there air conditioners in these buildings? Oh, we don't need them. Let's do a bad German accent. We don't need the air conditioning. It never gets too warm here. It's like, so now they have no air conditioning.
Well, and Colorado was the same way.
Oh yeah.
Houses built in the 80s and 90s and before most of them did not come with central air.
Oh man. It makes sense though. Yeah. Well,
climate change, not a thing.
Yeah. Clearly, this is some master plan by the liberals to somehow heat up Europe in some unnatural way.
Yep. It's a master plan by those who have everything to profit from the way things staying the way they are. And we can't possibly try to make money in a different way.
No. I know you subscribe to Netflix. Did you see that that Netflix made show called Don't Look Up?
I saw that. It's a movie. We started to watch it, but we kind of were like, eh.
I got through it. It was of course super political, but
well, yeah. All art is propaganda, as George Orwell said. Come on, people.
But it's
funny, speaking of, like, there's a bunch of people really mad at Rage Against the Machine for suddenly becoming political. It's like, hey, you know what? That line, "Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me," isn't them yelling at their moms, you fucking dumbasses.
What? Are you sure they weren't saying "fork you"? It's mishearing the words.
Yeah.
I need to make next time we upgrade stuff, we should make a banner to inform people it is the nighttime show.
Alex will be swearing.
Yes.
F-bomb dad is in the house.
Yeah. So yeah, Brent, that's what Alex was saying. Yeah, Colorado, and there's still, even today, I guess, up in the mountains, there's people that aren't hooking up AC yet.
Yeah.
I say yet.
Well, there's that. But last year, like, we were doing okay in our house, which was built in the 80s. We were doing okay. We had like a standalone AC unit that we put in our bedroom, and we would kind of use a fan to kind of blow the cooler out toward the living room and stuff. It's a fairly small house. But last year I saw like upcoming like 100-degree week in the middle of June. I'm like, no. my wife's got multiple sclerosis, and one of the things that really affects her is the heat. So I told him like, hey, I'm going to spend a bunch of money and I'm going to buy this swamp cooler and stuff. And we had a little tip about it. But I the last thing I said was, I'll pay for it. I'm going to put it in, and you're going to love it. And phrasing, right?
Right.
But yeah, no, like later on, she's like, you're right, this is awesome. Like, yeah.
Yeah, when Tara got pregnant with the twins, after experiencing what it was like being pregnant with just one kid in the summer, it's like, nope, we're getting central air. I'm like, do it.
Madame Mayor decrees it.
That's right. This was pre-mayor time, but yeah. Yeah, she's in her last term, so this is like last 2-3 years. 'Cause she's term limited.
Are you going to get pulled? Is she going to get pulled up before a tribunal like the Doges of old?
Probably not.
Okay, that's good, or bad, whatever. So,
but yeah, I don't know if you remember the fella or not, but the guy who organized and ran the Boulder 24-hour shootout, Michael Conti.
I don't remember that guy.
Yeah, he's actually in Europe now, doing a film, like a documentary thing.
All right.
So watching his posts online, like we bought 3 fans and we're ready for this the best we can be.
Right.
So, let's see. Oh, Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Hey, how far away are you from Miniature Market, Brent? Just curious there. I feel like we've had this conversation and my mind has gotten rid of this information.
That's funny. I'm gonna drink some water.
Yeah, water's good. I often am placing orders through them, and then once a year, whenever I make my trip out to Kentucky, I'll make it a pilgrimage to stop there because they always have stuff in store on sale that they don't have online.
Right. Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, feel free to ask us questions too, Brent, or anyone else who might be out there. Which all of
I've been practicing guitar again. Get my calluses back a little bit, but I'm still way out of practice where I used to be, and way out of practice for singing with playing. But I found a song that I was like, oh yeah, this is probably a song of like D&D characters, of Jean singing. The first part's Jean singing to Julie, and then the second part's Fox singing to Julie. And I started like messing around with the lyrics in my little notebook. And I was like, no, this is Julie singing to Jean and to Fox. And I kind of told Mariah that because I was, she's my partner in crime on this, really. And she's like, oh, are you going to post the lyrics? Are you going to sing them yourself? I'm like, an astute observation on your part. But I can't find a backing track for it, so I'm going to have to like lay down a backing track myself, which it's most of the song is 4 chords. So, 5-hour drive away says.
Yeah, Brent. That's not a normal trip there.
That's a minute.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I might wind up, getting guys help doing that, laying down the backing track and then singing over it. So then I get to hear my own voice, which still weirds me out.
I think it weirds everybody out because of how the whole inner ear thing works.
Yeah, and the bone induction and the flesh dampening things. I personally think my voice sounds like my little brother Neil's voice, but deeper.
So Brent has asked, how many kiddos do you all have? So speaking of deeper, your brother's voice, but deeper, I've got a teenager who's about to be 17, and I've got twin 12-year-olds who are about to be 13, and all boys. And one of the twins is already taller than anyone else in the house because they are fraternal twins, not identical twins. And at the moment, the teenager, my wife says, sounds enough like me that if she can't tell by context or the choice of words being used on the other side of the house, she can't determine if it's me or Nick. So
wacky.
Yep.
Yeah. I have a 9-year-old daughter, and she's a sweetheart. She's smart and athletic and intelligent and beautiful and kind and stubborn in all the ways I am.
All the best parts of mom and dad.
Yep.
Nice.
So, Yeah. Good thing I'm not in Colorado. I have a 12-year-old daughter. What's
Mhm.
wrong with Colorado? I have a 12-year-old
Well, he's
daughter.
just saying I have a 12-year-old son, so
Oh, okay.
I'm sure they enjoy talking about Star Wars all day long,
Right. That's how it
particularly one of them.
starts.
Yes. No spoilers, but speaking of, I finally finished Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney
Oh, I
Plus.
haven't even started watching that yet.
Um, I don't know what to say about it because, like, The Mandalorian, I loved. I thought it was
Mhm.
it exceeded. First of all, I had no expectations for it, which makes it easy to exceed expectations at that point.
Right.
But it was really fun to watch that. I still haven't finished Book of Boba Fett yet. Have like one last episode, and I assume I will at some point. But every time I sit down to watch something, I find something else that I want to watch more.
All right.
Um,
Yeah, I
yeah.
like Jake the Muss. So I'll probably get around to watching the Boba Fett stuff. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, no, we watched Mandalorian and we enjoyed it. We have not gotten around to watching Boba Fett or we Lauren and I we don't really watch many series together anymore. We have been watching a podcast. I did another podcast that's pretty funny, so we watched that on the reg and or regular quote unquote. But yeah, so I've been watching Witcher. Um, I just started season 2 of that, uh, and I really love the first Witcher game. I read a couple of the books. I like kind of like their take on stuff on it, and then the show is kind of like the show's kind of crap, but it got better.
That's good.
So I was like, okay, by the time I got like halfway through the first season, I usually give a show unless it's like slap me in the face stupid. I usually give a show like 4 to 5 episodes, get their footing, see where it's going. And Witcher, by the time I hit episode 4 or 5, I'm like, oh yeah,
Hmm.
I'm liking this.
I've been
Some of the
wanting to
fight
go back
choreography
to
is
it.
kind of sus, but that's fight choreography. So
I've been wanting to go back to Witcher. I only watched one episode and it didn't hook me, but it also didn't turn me away. I'm
yeah,
like,
like I said, unless the show is actually like really, really, really bad, I'll usually give it at least 2 or 3, if not 5 or 6. Like I watched like the first 5 or 6 episodes of the Lucifer show, and I'm like, no, hard pass, not for me. Especially because of expectations. I really love the Lucifer comic book that it is purportedly based on.
mhm.
It's not. It's a lie.
shares the same name. It's
Oh, Neil Gaiman is one of the producers on it. Yeah, well, guess what? He wasn't the guy who wrote the Lucifer comic book. That was Michael Carey. Duh. So
yeah.
the Lucifer comic book is, in fact, amazing.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, Tara and I try to watch stuff. We've been getting into the third season of a show called Barry, which is on HBO Max about it's partial comedy with lots of drama, assassin type guy, ex-military, who was tricked by his uncle into becoming an assassin. One of those, but these are really
killed
bad
someone.
people.
Now
Yeah,
you're on the dark side.
yeah. There's a contract to go kill this guy, but he's a really bad guy. He's a horrible guy, really, and there's lots of money in it. So, but turns out, of course,
Ooh,
he was lying to them. But,
Brent has got way more patience than I do. Gives the show the first season.
oh man,
Man,
well,
like I don't know if I've told this story before, but like Guy was like, "Oh, you gotta watch,
was it
Agents of Shield."
8 seasons
So,
to get into
so
it?
Lauren and I watched like the first like 5 or 6 episodes. We're like, "This show's kind of shit." And then Guy says, "Oh, you gotta wait till they tie into Winter Soldier. It's like episode 17." I'm like, "No, we already watched like 5 hours of this, so we're not watching another 12."
Mhm. Yeah. Well, they did a split off from The Walking Dead, called Fear the Walking Dead, which is a stupid title for a split off, but I want to say it was around season 3 or 4. It actually got really good, and I'm like, you could skip the first few seasons and go right into it because there's nothing you have to know.
No.
It's like because there's some characters that have died by then,
Mhm.
and that has some trauma for the characters that are there, but they do enough of I missed my blah 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 person in my life, and so
Right.
you'll know through context. And then last couple of seasons they introduced basically a paladin cowboy who was just awesome. He is a specialist trick shot in like one of those ghost towns where they have the fake shootouts,
hmm
and in because his dad was a cop, and taught him how to shoot. And then he ultimately ended up getting into law enforcement too. But he has this real strict code about not hurting anybody type thing. And I was like, wow, this is a paladin with 6-shooters in a zombie apocalypse thing.
I like that.
And, yeah, it's a really cool concept. But I can't recommend watching the entire series because there's so many things not good with it.
Right.
You have to pick and choose.
Yeah, no, I'm just actually interested from like the behind the scenes view on like obviously he's gonna be doing some of those trick shotty type stuff in the show. And like I remember because I love extras. Sorry, I love good extras on TV shows and such. And so like I watched the extras to The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. And when Bruce Campbell was doing that in the early 90s, he got trained up by like the old timers who worked on all the Western movies and TV shows 30 years before that. You know, guys who were like in their 20s back then. And so they were training him in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. And so like he totally put, I mean, you can watch him in any episode and you can tell he put in the fucking time to do all those like trick stuff and like rolling the cylinders and just right into the holster and everything like that. It's so cool. So I'm glad that some of that is still going on. That's one show that actually Lauren and I are rewatching that. We're showing Nova that show, The Adventures of Briscoe County. I love Lord Boulder. That guy's great. Julius Carey, that actor, fantastic. So, yeah,
it's 8 episodes. It depends on the series. It's like a lot of the Netflix seasons are only 8 episodes, but regular television stuff much longer. Unless you're talking British, which means like 6 episodes is a whole season.
Right. That's cool. Yeah. Like I said, I still don't like we were watching some show named Nova and I were, Nova's my daughter. We were watching a show named Whack Fu, and I'm like, this show's awful. We watched like 3 episodes of it, and then I'm like, oh, thank God, the new Kung Fu Panda show is up. We're watching that instead.
Was that WAG or Whack?
Whack. Okay. WAKFU.
Okay.
I watched the first 3 episodes. I'm like, hard no. Actually, well, the last show I actually gave a hard pass to was what show was it? What was it? It was people love this show too. I don't have to say fight me on it. Is the League of Legends show Arcane. I watched the first couple, maybe even.
Right.
I think I sure first past the first episode, but I was watching it and I'm like, what? So all the bad guys live, but almost all the good guys die, and explosions blow through that. That's not how explosions work. And the catwalk isn't wrecked from the explosions. I'm like, this just slapped me in the face, stupid. We're done here.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it, and I've yet to watch it. So
yeah, I just couldn't get past it. I'm like, what is this garbage?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the thing I'll get to Brent's question here in a minute. He did ask a question, but one of the shows that I've been meaning to try to watch is they did an animated Blade Runner show. Which, I don't know if it's a prequel or after, but it's supposedly totally different other characters.
Right, or interquel or something. Yeah,
right.
Cool.
So I'm curious to see that because Blade Runner is
in the same universe. That's cool. I like Blade Runner.
Same.
All right. So, favorite 1-season show that should have had a second season.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of that.
I know most sci-fi fans would say Firefly, but the question I always, because I would not have argued with more seasons of Firefly, but the question I have is how many seasons before it lost its momentum. And
yeah, I personally like I don't like Joss Whedon's work. The only thing of his I like is Firefly, and honestly, the fact that it like got canceled, I'm kind of like good. It never got to turn to trash, like the rest of his work. Fight me, and I'm trying to think. Gosh, like because I have a bunch of shows that like had 2 seasons that I love that should have had a third, but 1-season show. Golly. Yeah, my wife started to watch Dollhouse and she like stopped watching it. She told me to stay away. She's like, "You'll hate it." I'm like, Fair.
Yeah, it's one of those that when you watch it, you're like, I see the potential here, but they totally messed up going anywhere good with it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
I-
trying to. Maybe I need to like Google up or Wikipedia up like a list of one season television shows.
yeah, I was doing a quick search to see how many episodes were actually written by Joss Whedon for Firefly, because that might be why it was good, is he might have only written like a couple. There's a show that did 1.5 seasons that called Jericho, and I want to.
Jericho. Yeah, I remember that show.
You remember that
was
show?
one-
Yeah.
I thought that was 2 seasons.
I feel like it was 1.5. Let me look up here real quick.
Oh, I never heard of that show.
Which one's that? Oh,
Forever. Golly, now I'm thinking about like old shows. Like there was a couple like actually, you know what? I was just talking about it, and I don't know if this actually holds true, but I'm gonna just put it out there for now. The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. Had a full first season. They went from the main character being a bounty hunter to actually gathering a cadre of like other bounty hunters and friends and stuff, and getting established into like a town. And at the end of the first season, they go off on an adventure. They roll credits and everything. They thought they're going to get a second season, wherein Briscoe and Lord Bowler and company would be either having to solve problems in and around the town or getting called to go to other places because they're badasses, they didn't get re-upped. So I'm going to say that one. Nobody likes self-check. Sorry, I went to like open up a new tab. It says CNN.com. Nobody likes self-checkout. Yeah, duh. Well, here's why it's everywhere. Because it's cheaper for the company. Yeah, solved it. Psh, swish.
right.
Come on. Somebody got paid to write that. Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm.
Like I wound up. It's like I remember like one time I'm working in corporate America. They have magazines around. And it's like Christina Aguilera tells her secret about how she bounced back after having a baby. I'm like, let me sum up this article. She had a personal trainer and a personal chef before she got pregnant, while she was pregnant, and after she was pregnant. Who could have guessed? I'm not saying I'm not hating on Christina Aguilera, but yeah, exactly. Less employees, so it's cheaper for them.
Yeah, there's a few places where I found I really like the automated aspect of things, such as I have cut out going to fast food places dramatically out of my normal day-to-day type stuff. But back when I used to go at least once a week, because my kids are so picky with how they order stuff, I found being able to just stand at a screen and punch in what things needed to be changed, there'd be a lot less mess ups between me telling somebody something and then them getting the food.
God, you're really kind. like I mean, when I was growing up, we don't really do a lot of fast food now, but when I was growing up, like fast food was not a thing. And when it was a thing, you order, you might make changes. If you don't get what you want, too fucking bad. We're not going back. You're not getting anything else. Scrape the onions off your burger and eat the goddamn burger.
Yeah, I definitely make different choices than the way I had no choices when I was growing up. So, but I'm trying to give them an option, especially when one of their big complaints is they don't want cheese, and not eating cheese is a healthy thing to choose to do. So I'm okay if they want to get their cheese off of something. Yeah, I don't throw food at people. I'm scrolling through stuff that was canceled after one season.
Yeah. I got like a list. There's like some kind of like Freaks and Geeks, Bunheads, never heard of it. The new Muppet Show in 2015. Downward Dog, what? My So-Called Life. Relativity. Yeah.
So Freaks and Geeks only had one season?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was I believe that's a Kevin Smith thing. I think he wrote it. Kevin Smith.
I never watched it. I don't know.
Yeah, I never did either. It was not the right time or place, but I heard really good things about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, people are fucking animals. Yeah, you have to here to serve me. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
I worked fast food. it was awful. Mostly because of the people.
Tales of the Gold Monkey. I remember that show.
I never heard of that show.
It was trying to ride on the coattails of the Indiana Jones style pulp adventure
Oh,
stuff. So yeah, adventure of 1930s Pacific Islands bush pilot and his companions. It was made for TV, so it was decent for what it was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Dresden Files. If you're a fan of the book, you'd hate the TV show because they did a ton of changes. But I watched the TV show before indulging in any of the books, and I thought the TV show was decent.
I never watched the show because I hated the books.
Oh,
I read 2 of the books. I'm like, this is trash. And it's not trash for me. I'm not engaging with this. We're done. So. Yay. Conversation killing.
let's
Yeah.
see. Yeah, it's
there was a Fox show named like Prophet that was pretty cool. It's like the CEO guy who was like abused as a kid, and like he just tries to get revenge on like this company for some reason. I don't even remember why. There's another show named Man and Machine that took place in the near future, and it was a cop, and he got his he's a devil may care cop with a jetpack. She's an android. Together they solve crimes. It's actually pretty cool. Remember that one? Talking about water shortages and shit in the very first like scene. So yeah.
How many seasons of Alien Nation did they do as a TV show? I wonder.
That
That was one of those that actually transitioned decently from movie to TV.
Yeah, I never watched the movie. 2 or 3 says our
Makes sense.
unofficial member.
But yeah, Jericho only got it. It was technically 2 seasons, but second season only went 7 episodes because it was canceled before season 2 was released. But they had already shot 7 episodes, so they went ahead and released the 7 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know. I don't know about the distances and stuff for that, but I thought it was interesting how the characters were measuring how long it would take from where they saw the blast to the radiation reaching them.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then the one kid they thought was stealing stuff out of the store, but he was taking all the meat and throwing it into the freezer so it would with the ice, so that way it wouldn't go bad. And
Right.
so there were people doing smart things in that show, which normally you see people just doing dumb things, and that's what makes the drama because they're dumb and making dumb decisions.
Right. Well, if people don't get proper training or game things out, they make dumb decisions. They panic.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know you've been on the show before, Brent. I know. It's okay.
What else was there? It shows that fell apart after a couple of seasons, and I really liked the British show Misfits, but when some of the actors became popular and moved off to other shows, it felt like the writing got kind of weak.
I didn't watch that one.
It's worth watching at least the first couple of seasons because those are really good, and it's what it's what Heroes wanted to be, I think. It's what Heroes should have been. Heroes was too grandiose, and this was a lot more. Here's some juveniles that make bad decisions, and now they have superpowers. They're going to continue
make bad decisions with their superpowers.
Yeah, exactly. So,
that's cool. Yeah. One of my favorite shows that only got 2 seasons was the HBO's Rome. They found out that they weren't getting a re-up for a 3rd season, so they compressed. They were originally going to do like 5 seasons, and they cut off 1 season and compressed the other 4 into like season 2. So it moves really fast, but even so, it's still really good.
Yeah, I watched that on your recommendation. It was impressive.
The show is great. And the first season is top shelf, so good. And even the second season being compressed is like, you know what? I see where they had to cut things and do things and stuff, but the show is still so good.
See, they should have brought in the people that did Rome to do Game of Thrones instead of the people they did, because
those people were terrible.
Yeah,
like the writers go have an interview like, we don't believe in theme, but we're gonna make an ending all about theme. Shut up. Oh, we have a Babylon 5 fan in the house. Guess what? This guy ain't one of them.
I happened across an episode twice in my life, and somehow it's managed to be the exact same episode.
That's
And it's
funny.
like, yeah, and it's nowhere in a point in the story that is good to come in and try to watch an episode. So, what I remember distinctively, it starts with these little robots doing repair stuff, like the little one man robot pod things doing repair on the outside of the ship. Because when I guess a couple of months later, I'm like, oh look, Babylon 5 is on. I'm going to try to watch this episode. Hey, wait, this is the exact same opening I saw before.
That's funny.
Do they all open like this?
Yeah.
No, it's the same episode.
To Brent's comment though about having they had to condense season 4 and then they got a 5th season and had to like suddenly produce a 5th season out of their ass. That is really unfair to that creative team.
Yeah.
I will give that. I will tip my hat to that. That is not cool. Yeah, I was spending all my time with Guy and James and like living in their houses, so I was always running into B5, and I was always like, "Show's kind of crap, guys." He fell into the pit. Oh God, he's dead. It's like, no, I saw an episode like half a year ago with you guys that he's totally alive, time traveling. What's the big fucking deal? Oh, it's like. I have a memory. Do you have a memory? I have a memory.
Well, speaking of memories, I remembered it's time to do our little ad thing here.
Excellent.
If I can find it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go. All right. Geek Tank is sponsored by Kieran Games, Geekway Homes, and
your mom.
Send our love to her next time you see her.
Right. Oh, that's terrible. Half season 4 is supposed to take all season. Oh. I feel for that. I feel for them. Just because I don't like their output doesn't mean I want to see them get screwed over like that.
Yeah. Supposedly there's a whole new pre-Game of Thrones show coming. Yeah, it's probably by the same people. And then
if it's
I'm curious to see if the Willow show is going to be any good. Because that was one of those where it's like, I wasn't a huge fan of the movie, but I liked it.
Yeah,
it was like it's below Conan, but it was still in that same area.
Yeah.
And it's from what I can tell, it looks like it's picking up with the main character Willow several years later because they brought back Warwick.
Right. Yeah. Like in like Twin Peaks season 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that stuff.
So I'm curious to see how that goes. And then it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be a TV show, and I think it is on Prime. Show.
I know nothing of Hocus Pocus.
I thought that was a movie.
I have no idea.
Disney. Okay, Willow's going to be of course. Willow's going to be in Disney, and it says season 1 teaser, so it's obviously a series.
Nice.
And then the Lord of the Rings thing is going to be on Amazon Prime. That's what it is.
Right. Yeah, they've been working on that for a while.
Yeah, I like what I've seen as far as visually, but who knows how the writing's going to be.
Yeah, I haven't looked at anything with it.
I figure when I watch it, I'm just going to tell myself this is a fantasy D&D TV show and divorce it from anything from Lord of the Rings, and I'll probably really enjoy it.
Right. Cool. Yeah. I think.
See, probably too easy of a question, but TV shows that should have been canceled sooner.
Preacher. And to be fair, we went in with baggage. Preacher is Lauren, my wife's favorite comic book, and it is a great comic.
Indeed.
And we started watching season 1, and on a scale of 1 to 10, it started off at like a 7. It dips down to like a 4. It climbs back to like a 6. It dips down again to like a 3 or a 2. It climbs back to like a 5 at the end. We're like, wow, they really missed the mark. Just we there's one of those, probably 9 episodes in the season. We watched the whole first season. We're like, oh, what is this? And like,
Yeah.
when they first said they're going to do a preacher show, my first thought was how.
Right.
Like the basic premise is so sacrilegious.
Hmm.
You know, mortal man hunts down God to judge God for the shittiness of the creation. That is the premise. It is so sacrilegious. I could not see a way it could be made.
It's
And
having seen what they did with the boys, they should have just waited. And if they would have waited until they got permission to be on like Amazon Prime or
they were on Showtime.
No, they were on AMC.
They were on AMC. Oh, was it Preacher AMC? Oh,
Preacher was
okay.
AMC.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
you're right.
and that's, I think, had they waited, they could have gotten away with more and been closer. I watched the whole thing, and it's one of those where if I had to divorce the comic out of my mind to enjoy it, once I like, oh, this is a fanfic film. Once I could convince myself of that, it was like, okay, this is fun. But boy, they really could have done so much better if they had the right channel and the right way to go with it. Because I thought some of the casting was good. It really just came down to the choices they made. Like I wasn't happy with hang on a moment, my brain's gonna shut down now.
Hmm. Just tell me what the character was doing.
The vampire. I'm trying to remember.
Cassidy.
Cassidy, thank you. My brain kept trying to say Jesse. I'm like, oh, that's the main character.
Jesse's
Cassidy was way smaller in the comic, and for some reason, him being as tall as he was in the show made him obviously threatening. And I thought one of the cool things about Cassidy was he was so small, he came across not threatening, and then
Right.
when he went to town on people, it was a bloody mess.
Right.
But they did things in the show I liked, like the fight on the airplane. I thought was really cool between
I didn't get that
Cassidy
far.
and the Hunters. But yeah, when you compare it to the comic, there's no comparison.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just way
terrible.
better.
It's just terrible.
Which is really interesting because Garth Ennis also did The Boys, which I love,
Mhm.
and the TV show of that is better than the comic.
Right? Yeah,
And
that's what I've heard.
And it's one of
I've
those
not
things-
read the comic. I've seen the show though.
Yeah,
Or-
it's. I think it would be hard to go back to the comic if you start with the show, but it's hard for me to
That's fine.
say. But I've read the comic like 3 times before, over the course of a few years, and then when the TV show came out, I'm like, how are they going to do this?
Mhm.
And there's
And
still
the answer was better.
better.
Mhm.
And yeah, there's still plenty of stuff that they can't get away with because of how graphic it was, just like how graphic the Preacher
Yeah.
comic is. But they really hit the mark on a lot of the tone and the storyline, and
Sweet.
the TV shows. Just, it's one of those that I don't buy DVDs anymore or Blu-rays, but I
do.
could see myself picking this one up in a collector's set at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, I still pick up that stuff. I like I said, I like the extras. I still like having physical copies. So, yep. Yeah, Preacher should have been canceled. I mean, honestly, I think Lucifer should have been canceled too. A lot of people love that show.
Mhm.
And you know what? For what it is, I guess I don't care about it enough to say fight me on it.
Mhm.
I was just like, reading the comic, it's like, so the comic's about Lucifer trying and succeeding and freeing himself from the creation. What's the show about? Oh, Lucifer and a mortal run around and solve crimes like Scully and Mulder. No.
There's a series that I recommended to you called Reaper because it had Wiseman in it. His name is escaping me. Let me back up here. I'll find it. Ray Wise. It had Ray Wise.
Ray Wise. That dude's a great actor.
He is.
Yeah,
But Reaper only had 2 seasons, but that was one of these parents made a deal with the devil, and now the devil's come to collect their son type thing. So.
Yeah, I as far as like pirating goes, I know. Am I allowed to make an official stance on this show? Troy, do we care?
Did somebody bring up pirating?
Yeah, Brent brought up pirating. Yeah, I only pirate things that I can't get other ways. That's just me. I feel that I know they don't get a lot of money when I buy like the Twin Peaks from Z to A thing. I know that David Lynch and crew don't get a ton of money from it. I know they get some.
Mhm.
But like, well, like say Kyle MacLachlan starring in The Trial, a movie adaptation of Kafka's The Trial. You can't get that. So yeah, I totally grab it. So you know,
Yeah.
a very little known television series post Twin Peaks that Mark Frost and David Lynch worked on, named On the Air. You can't get that any other way. And it's like, well, if you're not going to let me get it legit, then I'm going to get it this way. Yeah. Lots of people like the TV show Lucifer. And like I said, I don't care enough to say fight me on it. Like, I've had tons of friends who love that show. And it was so funny. One of them cast, she was like, oh, well, like, that dude who plays Lucifer is eye candy to me. And I'm like, and to a lot of other people, I'm like, not to me. I don't find him attractive. But that's me. It's okay.
I never heard of On the Air. It looks really hilarious.
It's pretty funny.
I had to look it up because
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
You're like, what? What? Mark Frost, David Lynch project? What? Post Twin Peaks? What?
Let me see. That's the kind of thing that it's like. I don't think my brother knew because he was a way bigger fan than me.
Oh, hey, back in the day, you'd have to be passing off, 8th gen VHS tapes of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, we can do a viewing of it sometime. It's absurdist.
Yeah, that I could tell by the picture of the DVD thing there that they have. Cool. See.
Yeah, should have been canceled. What else should have been canceled?
So yeah, the streaming services are getting crazy, and this is one of those things that way back when cable happened, I think enough people were complaining that they wanted it a la carte, that they didn't realize that it would be more expensive to get everything.
Well, a la carte is just direct TV, pay for the movie you want to watch.
Right.
But, we only do 2 streaming services. We do Netflix, we do Disney Plus.
We haven't switched in a while, but we were just doing a thing where we would keep a couple for a few months and then switch because there's no penalty for dropping and coming back.
Right.
So it's just, and we binge enough of the stuff of one thing where it's like, oh, there's no reason to keep this one anymore. Let's go watch stuff on this one.
Yeah, we actually don't binge. Like Nova binges, but like Lauren and I, we don't binge. The show that kind of cured us from binging was Daredevil. I forget if it was season 2 or 3. It might have been 2. We watched like the entire 20 whatever episodes in 3 or 4 days, and we were like, wow, that was cool. But upon reflection, we think we would have liked it better if we'd actually not done that. And so whenever we watch shows together now, we watch 1 or 2 episodes at a time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know if we ever do more than 4 or 5 episodes in a day, especially if something an hour long. But like Friday nights when we have our get-togethers here, like currently we're watching the latest season of Umbrella Academy. We only get through about 3 or 4 episodes before everybody has to call it a night and go home, and then we wait a whole week and watch another 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So
So we've had Prime in the past. And I get it for specific shows, like Twin Peaks season 3. I can get it through the Showtime on Prime. Okay. Oh, the new Venture Brothers season is hitting. Yeah, I'll get it through Prime. But that's another thing too. Like one thing that's cool. Speaking to come back to physical media, Venture Brothers, the ending movie is purported, it hasn't come out yet, but it's purported that it will be on DVD and Blu-ray sales exclusively for 3 months.
Oh, wow.
And then it'll go to one of the HBO streams. And since I can actually look over there and see all of the Venture Brothers on disc, I'll absolutely be picking that up day one.
If only they did a pre-order thing where you could get a T-shirt or something with it.
Oh, they might do that. For many seasons, they would do a T-shirt club, and you can just say pre-buy every T-shirt for every episode, costs as much as every T-shirt for every episode does, and you get a bonus T-shirt that you only get for doing the whole thing. Or you can a la carte each T-shirt, you have a week to buy it. until the next episode comes out. And that's what I always did because there's so many T-shirts that were just terrible. There's Neil. We have 2 viewers.
Woohoo!
2 viewers.
It's
The
a new
Venture
record.
Brothers.
Actually,
The Rusty Venture Show. Brought to you by smoking.
So I have to show you these because I don't know if you've ever seen them.
I've got some of those Venture Brothers T-shirts. They're awesome.
Oh, those are Hero Forge. Not the T-shirts. There's some people who did custom Venture Brothers
Andrea's
figures.
there too. Woo! We got 3.
Woohoo!
Dun 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 dun.
So like breakfast time there, isn't it?
No, they're in New York. Oh, Sheets
okay.
is here too.
Wow.
Oh shit. Okay, so we got to tell Guy when he's not on, we get like
That's right.
600% viewership.
It's all Guy's fault.
Causation, correlation. What are those? I think Neil and Bob and Andrea heard me yelling about how terrible Preacher was from over here in Colorado.
These are horrible pictures, and these are I've seen better, but this is what I'm finding right now. So I'll go ahead and share this. But I found these a while back. Someone took the HeroClix guys and made Venture Brothers type characters, but I've seen way better paint jobs.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, I want to do that. Yes, I know I can.
Yeah, do it. Oh, speaking of miniatures, man, some miniatures we got.
Oh, you mean these guys right here that won't show up in focus when I try to hold them up to the camera?
Yeah, the Preacher show is awful. Should have been canceled.
Yeah, they're waiting to be.
Might have been canceled. I don't know if it has been, but it's
waiting to be primed. But I finally got like the little tiny hands and the swords on it.
Sweet.
Because I had to assemble these. I still haven't put the second sword on Nilton yet because he wanted me to do a custom second sword.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know where my little sprue of extra swords went.
Right.
But here's Julie with her, I want you, pointing her sword at someone.
Yep.
So.
Stabbing. You will be stabbed.
But yeah, they're ready to be primed, and I'm hoping that when we go live in person again, I will have them all ready for that. This is my target goal. Because
awesome.
So then when we're gaming, I can just put them out on the table.
Awesome. Let's see. What are other shows like? How about shows you could watch over and over again?
Oh, man. Well, I'll say for Guy, if Guy was here, we know it's every Star Trek show in existence other than the movie Nemesis. So, or not Nemesis, Into Darkness. The horrible Spock one and Khan.
No, Into Darkness, wasn't that the second J.J. Abrams one?
I think so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Andrea can watch Breaking Bad over and over again.
I'm showing that my son actually wanted to watch that, and we've been watching that, and he's horrible about sticking with something, but he does like it, and I'm like, dude, you have to get through Breaking Bad so we can watch Better Call Saul because it's a better show in my opinion.
Right? Yeah, I've watched some Better Call Saul. It was cool. Yeah, with Breaking Bad, I was like, we got tired of watching him just be a terrible person. I got tired of his whining. Such a fucking pathetic little whiner. All the time. Oh, I'm so badass. I'm the one who knocks. Shut the fuck up. The 3 shows I can watch over and over again and have: Twin Peaks, The Venture Brothers, Castlevania.
See, I definitely do have to go with Blackadder. All seasons of that.
That's a good show.
There's enough of them that by the time I get to the end, starting over again, easy. Legion, I've seen 4 times now, and I'm ready to watch it again.
Nice.
It's one of those that it's like a giant music video in a way, because it's just their use of music in it is spectacular.
Oh, okay.
And it's like that's one of the things I love about, and they incorporate the music in many of the scenes where the characters are aware of the music, which is really neat. So, diegetic music, like it's music that's they're experiencing the same thing. I love that in shows. It's Yeah, the guy that wrote them and directed them also did at least the first one. I don't know if he did the other ones. The TV series Fargo, which surprised the hell out of me with how good it is. And each season is completely different, but there's like this tiny connection through it. And like one of them even has a connection to the movie, like a really small connection. Cool. But it's but yeah. Neil started The Boys.
Okay. Yeah, we were talking about The Boys earlier. Stranger Things, you know, I watched Stranger Things recently, and I really enjoyed it, except for season 2. I was watching going through season 2. There was like half the episodes, you know. So you have like one quarter, then you have half in the last quarter. The half of the episodes in the middle, people doing stupid things to advance the plot. Like really dumb, and I just couldn't believe it. I was like this show was good. I guess I'll just watch one episode tonight and come back to it in a couple of days. Which I do with some shows that I kind of want to stick with, I've watched all of Riverdale, but that's another show that I watch like one episode every couple nights, and then like every 3 to 4 episodes, like every week or so, I need to put it down for a week because I'm like, this just got too dumb. But it's really pretty and it's really stylish. But the story got dumb.
Yeah, season 2 is not the one that. It's like I found like someone else saying that season 2 of Stranger Things is really bad. To me, where it got bad was when they had tried to have a whole little sub branch of the New Mutants type thing,
right?
And I'm like, it just didn't fit in with it. But
yeah, really regarding Riverdale, I personally think the first season's the best. I watched it, and it was before Twin Peaks season 3. I watched it at the same time we were watching. We were watching. What is it? It's named. It's a show that should have been canceled. American Gods. And we watched American Gods, and I was watching Riverdale, and Lauren was watching some Riverdale with me. It's like, wow, these are really good Twin Peaks substitutes. And we're getting Twin Peaks season 3 in like next year. This is awesome. And so yeah, it's just like it's like Riverdale season 1 is super stylish. It's got a very Twin Peaks setup. And so the way I would describe it to people was like, watch Riverdale season 1. It's like Twin Peaks without the supernatural stuff. Like teenagers trying to solve a mystery, adults trying to manage things, beautifully shot, good soundtrack, and yada yada yada. The first season is definitely influenced by Twin Peaks. In a later season, they have a couple episodes that are like, they actually talk about Lynchian to find horror in the mundane. Da 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 da. And they actually they go to a video store, and the guy who owns the video store does his best David Lynch impersonation, which I found very happy. But like I said, the show goes off the rails after the first season, and like I said, like sometimes I'm watching stuff and I'm watching Riverdale. I'm like, they're gonna have a sword fight, a duel. Good thing he's not good at saber fighting. They're using foils. I'm like, we're done. See you in 2 weeks. But sometimes I'll be like, I'm watching this like, how are these people doing all this stuff? Sorry, I have a memory. Let's stop watching this for a week. I'll come back. And then the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. You know, I watched the first couple episodes, and I was just really disappointed in it because I like the main actress whose name I do not remember. I've been drinking, but she's Don Draper's daughter in Mad Men, which is an amazingly good show. And I was like, okay, she's got a regular gig. I want to watch this. And I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of disappointing. And I don't know if they ever actually did a crossover between Riverdale and the Riverdale show and the Sabrina show. There's crossovers in comics.
Yeah, how could you possibly remember that? That's Keeman Shipka.
Oh yeah,
that's a name.
But no, it's like I said, I've been drinking, and before that I was grappling, so I'm tired. But yeah, no, it's Peaky Blinders. Lauren watched some of that, but I don't think she's kept up with it. Probably because it was dull. But I don't know.
Did you ever see a British TV show called Hustle?
No, I have not.
It's about these. They did an American knockoff of it, as they do with many British shows. what was the American version called? But it's con artists that are doing cons against people that are bad guys, kind
Of
of thing.
course.
And in fact, it was Angela who had told me about the American version of it when I was talking. It's like, that sounds like this show. I'm like, it's a lot like that show. Hey, I see what they did there. But yeah, it's fun because they have it goes from the perspective of the new guy joining the team.
He says Bob and Brent say
Leverage.
leverage.
Yes, that's
And
it.
by the way, IT crowd, great.
IT crowd's awesome. They tried to do an American pilot of IT crowd.
What?
It sucked. You can find it on YouTube.
What?
But they got Joe McHale, who's not a bad comedian in it, but the humor just does not translate at all. But they brought in the same actor that plays Moss for it.
Okay.
But so he's still awesome, but the writing just doesn't work as an American show.
That's
and it's
weird.
like that's why it never made it past the pilot.
Because
They
I
did
mean,
the-
I guess just wanted different accents because I think the show just works.
Oh, it's the timing. It's all comedy is timing.
Yeah.
Something with the writing and the timing of it just did not work. It's they did the same thing with Red Dwarf. They tried to do an American version of Red Dwarf. Yeah. So,
Weird.
yeah.
Weird.
Brent saw the American IT crowd. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Neil. So I don't know when you came in here, but we were talking about some other stuff earlier because we meander, and I was saying that I was gonna do a song. I'll have to listen to it though, and I think my voice sounds like your voice, just deeper. So how about that? It's weird. Crickets.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking it up. I was trying to decide if I wanted to post a link to this American IT crowd or not.
Oh God! Don't do it! Don't do it!
Yeah, people can look up their own pain. I don't have to bestow pain on them. They can seek
Right?
it out themselves.
Oh, it's terrible.
But yeah, IT
mean, like-
crowds is one of those I watch over
I guess
again.
I just want American accents on it. You know, just the whole.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Oh
don't
no
know why-
way! Neil's heard people say that. Bob disagrees. Dun dun dun. What does Andrea think? Since she's heard both.
The
Neil and I as well.
tiebreaker.
The tiebreaker. Lauren's comment was, "Well, Neil's got a good voice, so you know." Oh, weird. I guess for mom and dad.
Mhm. Use that to your advantage. Hey, we don't have Guy here, so if we want to go long, we can.
Geek Tank After Dark.
Yeah. Geek take overtime.
Geek Tank After Dark longer.
Longer, stronger, harder, better.
Yep. What was that line from the Brain Candy movie? Long push-ups, hard push-ups.
Let's see. Nothing like dead silence. Yeah, we're just trying to catch up on the reading here. Yeah, Leverage was the show that was based off of Hustle.
Okay.
Which one of these days I'll get to watch Leverage because I heard it's really good. And since I really enjoy Hustle, I'm sure I'd really dig that. What's funny is I thought Hustle got canceled, and I'd only seen like a few of the seasons. And then it's I want to say it's on Amazon Prime now, possibly.
Bob is getting sleepy. Where the hell's Guy anyway? Guy is his sister's in town, so he's like supposedly doing family things. But actually, it is 10.
Yeah.
I have to step away for a moment and do lights out for my daughter. It's already it's after lights out time for her anyway.
Mhm.
And Lauren is sleeping because she's tired because of the MS, the monster as we're calling it these days. Yay! Be right back.
Rough. All right, I'll just keep talking then while you're gone. But yeah, it turned out that there were other seasons of Hustle that I was unaware of. They have a total of 6 seasons of that show, and it is on Amazon Prime Video. So if anybody wants to check it out, it is there. And time for bed for Brent. So thank you, Brent, for joining and asking the questions you did. I appreciate it. Only what? July, August, September. Only 2.5 more months before I should be seeing you for NDK. So spiffy. But yeah, you guys. Wonder if it matches up with some of the. I'm sure they do entirely different plots for the two shows. So I'll have to check it out. Oh, you don't see Brent's comments because Brent is commenting on Twitch right now, but our current feed shows it all. That makes sense. And see, I could do that, and then you can see what he said. Yeah, this will be the first year, thanks to me, that NDK is going to be having a Magic the Gathering tournament, and is able to work it out because one of the sets is Kamigawa, which connects into the Asian theme, so it can fit with the Japanese anime type theme. So it'll be a sealed booster set of Kamigawa for people to play with. Should be fun. I already know that at least 3 of my staff and possibly Alex and Guy will want to get involved in the Kamigawa tournament.
I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I think, man, I can't be spending hours at a tournament. Man,
Well,
come on.
Depending on how many people do it, I might just make it. I saw that some tournaments are just best one, so that way they don't take forever. But that limits your ability to sideboard, which
Right.
is part of the gaming.
Yeah. Yeah, Neon Dynasty. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we're totally doing we'll have Lauren and Nova at the con as well, which will be cool.
Yep. Yeah, last year when Tara went, she got sick, and luckily it wasn't the COVID, but
Just
not
the
knowing
crud.
for sure, just the crud. So she just stayed in the hotel room the whole time.
Oh, since we're Geek Tank after hours.
After hours.
Time for more drinking.
Race Buster.
Right? Trace Busta.
Yeah, I had gotten out of Magic for a few years there. Bob's saying he'd been out for 20 years. Yeah, when COVID hit, I couldn't play in person, and I really wasn't enjoying playing online. So I just kind of stopped playing for a while. But now that we're all back together again, it's pulled me back in. I found in some cards, because we're going to do at some point, Alex, Guy, and myself are going to do a sub show, not directly on Monday nights, and it'll be a pre-recorded thing where we're going to look at each set of Magic and the special keywords that they introduce and explore that. And I came across a few keywords. I'm sure there's a bunch out there that I don't know, but there's learn and lessons was a function that I had never seen anybody use before in a game.
Yep.
So I must have missed
I agreed to that. Was I drinking? Damn it. No, I'm just kidding. I was totally sober when I agreed to that. It's before or after hours.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. That was a while back that we agreed to that.
It was a minute.
So now that we've gone past our time, we have nothing else to talk about.
Oh no!
Yeah, but yeah, so ask us anything. Except you're our friends, so you already know everything.
They can still ask us anything.
They could.
We haven't hung out in a while, dude. I've been role playing harder than I ever have before. The character I'm playing now in D&D 5e and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, the best character I've played since Nazir Nerinian.
Yeah.
You like the chops? Yeah, Lauren, back in October, she's like, I think you should shave your head again. So I waited until, November, a few weeks later. I'm like, still think I should shave my head? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I started shaving my head again. And it's like, honestly, I mean, I had curly hair down to my mid back. So having that long curly hair and shaving my head is about the same level of upkeep. But yeah, no, guys, I mean, I haven't seen y'all in forever. No, I'm like, my morning weigh-in, I was at 206. All right.
Oh, nice.
So I'm still dropping, so looking good.
Cool.
So cool.
Are you doing daily or weekly from your weigh-ins?
Oh, I do it every day.
Okay. From what I read, I'm supposed to do it once a week, but I can't control myself. I do it almost every day.
Yeah, I mean, there's always micro fluctuations, but I've been losing,
Mhm.
1 to 2 pounds a week for the last several months. So,
Excellent.
ooh, Andrea wants to be on the show.
Oh, yeah. You have a camera and a mic? Oh yeah, Geek Out Cafe. I've been there a couple of times.
Cool.
Yeah,
Which
we're
one's
not.
Geek Out Cafe?
It's on Wadsworth, across the street from where what used to be called Hobbytown, but is now called or no, it's Copar Hobbies. Now it's called Hobbytown. So if you're on Hampton 285, exit Wadsworth, start going north about 4 blocks. It's on the right hand side next to that pizza place.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Garlic Knot, the Garlic Knot, I think it is.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been down there in a minute. So, okay. Cool.
But yeah, it's absolutely. We'll have you on as a guest, and you can pick what topic you want to talk about, and we'll let you lead it as much as you'd like, because why not?
Cool.
Because we can go to 4 screens on this thing, just like there and there.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there.
I was thinking of Andrea and Neil because I think I finally found a blacklight reactive tattoo ink that doesn't show up unless it's the black lights on it.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna do a little bit more research, talk to my tattoo artist, and probably get the Triforce of Power on the fist. And then also because of since you can't see it, like maybe do something like cool, like maybe some of the smoke patterning, like from what about like from like Twilight Princess or something, going up the forearm a little bit. Look badass.
But since we're exploring new territory by going over time, I should point out that if things happen to all of a sudden shut down, it's because we overtaxed our streaming system or something. But no idea. But yeah, absolutely. We'll pick your favorite topic or topics, and we'll talk about it. We've had Dan on before and talked about role playing stuff and such. Of course.
Yep. Oh, really, Bob? Really, Bob? I'm sorry.
Just
Just
because
the
of
job.
the job. Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Heck yeah, Andrew, your cosplay was awesome. I still talk up your cosplay all the time.
Sweet. Yeah. And if you have some pics of your favorite cosplays, we can even do the little thing where we put it up on the screen and it won't do it now because we're the only 2 in here, but
That's okay, Neil. Yeah, I got my my arm pieces mostly done. So that's
yeah.
So it's about 95% done. So
I think what Neil's saying, Andy, is you need to give him a colored Sharpie collection, and then he can do his own tattoos.
right, or alcohol soluble paints. But yeah, so that's done, and then my artist. This was an audition for my artist and me, and so she's gonna start working on my finishing up my back piece in a couple months. Yeah, that's our cool, and like the back piece that I have is kind of in that woodblock style a little bit, and like Lauren's looking to get the Van Gogh or aren't really cool. Yeah, she's looking to get the Van Gogh geisha on one of her legs or something. But that's one of the things too. Is like I was like, I want to go to Japan and hang out and stuff, and I want to go totally in like hot springs and bathhouses, but I don't like. I got a tattoo. It's definitely Japanese style, and another one it's even bigger. And it's like, are a bunch of yakuza going to think that I'm like, that I'm some poser until I open my mouth and be like, "What's up?" I don't know what you're saying, but it sounds insulting. So
Do they just have a rule against letting people in bathhouses with tattoos? I am asking Andy, since she is saying that they won't let you in.
yeah. Womp womp. I guess all I have to do is try to reach out to the buddy of mine who I used to train with, who married a woman she is part of the family business of having a hot spring.
Well, you can always go to Reykjavik in Iceland and do their hot springs. They don't care.
Right.
But that was funny when we went there because it was really cold. But of course, the hot springs are nice, and they had like a 3-story sliding board. And my son Nick would get out of the pool, be freezing, hurry up to the top of the sliding board as fast as he could, so he could slide down the warm sliding board into the hot springs again.
Right. Yeah. That's how you do.
Yep.
Yeah. To go back to, so I see private rooms. That reminds me, the private room karaoke place we used to get to, they closed down. There's a couple other places in town that'll do it, but we haven't tried them out yet.
I thought I had the noise on the phone turned off. Otherwise, it'll go right through the microphone there.
Yeah, fair. Not that anyone's calling me, but you know.
No.
That's cool.
Yep. So,
that's you know they're gangsters because they have the expensive private rooms.
Right. And they have to get the private rooms because they have the tattoos.
Yeah, but I was talking to what was it? I was talking to George at NDK, and I was like telling him I was kind of concerned about going to Japan and being taken for a native, because I've had Japanese people tell me that I look like I'm Japanese until I'm smiling. But about being like attracting unwanted attention while I'm hanging out with friends and family. And he's like, well, you're American. You should be okay. And you have a certain way about you that you're not just some poser schlub that people respect. Like, cool. Well, thank you.
Well, under the voice box, it does say temporarily closed. So hopefully that means they are going to find another place.
Hopefully.
But yeah, there's definitely a variety of places on Yelp here that claim to be private room karaoke. Currently sitting in my closet upstairs is a setup to do karaoke stuff, but you have to have the CDs for it.
Right.
And it's borrowed from a friend who was that Tara would do karaoke with. And so when the bars were closed down and they couldn't go out and do karaoke, she brought her set over here and they would sing here. Problem is her collection, I'm going to say, sucks as far as in the stuff that we like. I mean, it's not our style of stuff necessarily.
Right. All Elvis.
Mm-hmm. But apparently there's I forgot the name of it, but you can go online and get access for the weekend for like $10 or $15 to an online karaoke stuff, and it has like tons of stuff on it, and you just pipe it through your system, and it's for doing your own party without having to hire a KJ.
Right.
In fact, it was the KJ that we both know that told me about that. And it's like, oh, just go here, spend $15 and you get all the songs you want.
Oh, speaking of the KJ, did you?
I have not yet. I know what you're going to ask.
Okay. All right.
So I know that we're running out of time. So yeah.
Are we running out of time? I thought we were after hours now. After.
No, I meant I'm running out of time to get the information you need because we're coming up on a month and a half from the time that you need that information.
I just want to get
a
token of appreciation.
Mm-hmm. I also need to cement for sure that that you can do what I think you can do. Because it's one of these things. Last year when I helped set up, it was no problem. So I just want to confirm that if you're there helping with setup, you can test the system for her.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's why I can't do a tournament. I got stuff I got to do.
Right.
So.
But,
buddy.
Well, yeah, I'm probably going to have the tournament be like a lunchtime thing because all the cool stuff happens at night, and I don't want to be competing with it.
True.
So Pokemon tournament in the morning, and then followed by the Magic tournament for the lunchtime crowd. And then we're doing our giant size tournament that night, which is the tradition I've started. And we're doing a game called Onitami, which is
Mhm.
1 versus 1, very similar to chess,
Mhm.
but with alternating move abilities. So it's pretty strategic.
Yeah. I've actually have a copy. I've never played it though.
It's not bad. It's not a bad game. It goes pretty fast. Yeah, Pokemon. It's when was it? 20 2021 2020 is when I learned to play because I knew it was one of these things where it's like if I'm in charge of running games at NDK, I need to know how to play Pokemon because it doesn't make sense that there's no Pokemon tournaments there.
Mm-hmm.
So learned how to play it. Ran the first one last year. Huge turnout. Everybody loved it. Asked for more. So doing that again this year.
Give the people what they want, unless it's terrible.
And it's I play TCG now.
Right.
I'm getting I don't know if you've heard of them. I'm sure you have, Neil. But I'm getting the things that are called build and battle boxes. So each player will purchase their build and battle box, and it comes with everything they need other than the energy. And it should give enough variety that the people playing each other won't be able to second guess what anyone has. It's unbeatable.
He was like, I want to come over and crush him with my stuff. So here's a story, Neil. So we had the Pokemon anniversary last year. So I put on the tournaments, Pokemon Surprise in the VGR. And people kept on coming up to me. He's like, what game is it? What are we doing? Da-da-da. I go, it's a surprise. That's why it says Pokemon Surprise. People are like, I hate surprises. I'm like, okay, no problem. So then what we wound up running Sunday during the weird slot for Pokemon Surprise was the N64 Pokemon Stadium game. And of course, no one's got save games for that shit. We had even a Pokemon themed N64 to play the game on. And so people, okay, you get to make your team. Cool, make your team. It's all good. But the game has an auto balancing feature wherein if you don't have a save game with the actual Pokemon leveled up and everything, you can still pick any Pokemon for versus mode. But the more powerful Pokemon that you select, the crappier they are. So you had all these people trying to make out tricked out teams, and a kid, a literal like 7-year-old, won the tournament playing the Pokemon he loved and just waffle stomped everybody. Like I was asleep because I was up all night, but my crew tells me this, and I just start cackling, and I'm laughing so hard I'm crying. And I'm like, it could not have gone better if I had planned that. It was so good. We sent somebody out to the dealer's room to go buy that kid a special Magikarp stuffy for winning the tournament.
Nice.
Yeah. We were like, just go, 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 go. So good. The tears, they taste so good. Ugh, I love it.
Sweet.
Yeah, buddy.
You got something similar in mind for this year?
No. The special thing we're thinking of doing this year, we're planning on doing Beat Saber for charity. And the big question I have, and I'm probably going to go only with official stuff, because there's so many unofficial cracked stuff that, I mean, it would take up gig upon gig upon gig of storage space. And then also we can't really quote unquote broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have cracked stuff and have all these great songs for our leaderboard and everything, we can only really have it like on a TV for people to watch. there would still probably be like a crowd to play Beat Saber because it's awesome. But that's all we can really do. If we go with official stuff, not cracked, then we can actually project on the big screen, which would, of course, generate more interest for the charity, which would, of course, mean more people playing, which means more leaderboards, which hopefully gets people wanting to do that competitive thing.
Right.
So,
Yeah, the my idea for the trivia game show thing, one of the things I wanted to do, I can't do as planned because obviously broadcasting it would be the best way to go so people can see it and be excited about it.
yeah.
I wanted to do a Name That Tune, but we'd have to have the rights to the music to do
Oh
the
my
Name
God.
That Tune.
You're right.
So I thought of this idea. I don't know how it's going to work, but getting like 4 or 5 people to pre-record theme songs using kazoos and just have it the NDK Kazoo Orchestra presents, anime themes.
Right,
And then
right.
they'd have, because that would add a layer of difficulty too, of like, name this anime theme done only on kazoos.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah. Right. No, that's cool. That's cool. Actually, you know what?
Mhm.
Back to previous topic. Shows that should have had more than one season. Cowboy Bebop. The live action Cowboy Bebop is better in almost every way to the anime.
Mhm. Well, there might be another season, right?
It got canceled.
Oh,
They canceled it like 3 weeks after because so many haters were out there. And yeah, just I see Neil still wants to talk about the Pokemans. But no, the Cowboy Bebop, the live action TV show, the first episode is the weakest episode. It's too bad. But the show actually goes in some different directions, which are really cool. The action, the way that it's worse than the actual anime is that the action is not as good. And when I looked it up, the guy who plays Spike Spiegel in the live action broke his knee right before filming. What are you going to do?
I'm looking up this Pokemon that he is talking about, Phalanx 5. Can't do it without my glasses.
You can't get 5 Phalanx if his name is Phalanx 5? That's weird.
Yep.
I hate it when themes don't work.
I guess he and himself is a Phalanx. Or herself. All of your Pokemon that have Phalanx in their
Not
name.
5, V.
Oh,
Sorry.
V. Okay.
We were talking
Yeah.
about Rome earlier, so rolling Rome.
Right. That's where my mind was too.
Let's see what Wikipedia has to say.
Interesting. So there's no limit to the number of V Pokemon you can have, I guess, since you're talking about 4 of them. And yeah, I don't have nearly the lexicon of Pokemon cards in my mind as I do Magic cards, so I can't name the stuff that I have that I use, but I have a pre-made fire deck that I bought that just seemingly is really unfair. when I've played it with people, it seems overpowered because it does things like you dump energy from one Pokemon to do some massive attack, and then you play this other trainer, and energy from your graveyard comes back into play onto a Pokemon, and it creates this vicious cycle of synergy with it.
Sounds good. Yeah, the Wikipedia article doesn't say why Cowboy Bebop got canceled. Womp womp.
Well,
has Brent left? Yes, Brent left.
Yeah, he said he had to go to bed.
My bad. Yeah.
So I was looking up what you mentioned Team Attack. So is that a card or something?
Going into weeds on the Pokemans.
Yeah. Yeah, the things that I've enjoyed about Pokemon over Magic, first of all, their online website is awesome. It's free to go down to and free to use. Of course, it has options to buy stuff, but unlike the Magic Arena, you do not at all need to buy stuff to feel like you're being competitive. And every deck you buy in real life comes with a code, and you get that a duplicate of that deck online.
All
That
right,
you,
or like pack codes and shit.
yeah, and
Yeah,
there's also
totally
pack
cool.
codes, and that way you can practice online with the deck that you just bought, so you can get better with it. And their AI online's not that bad, whereas I found the AI for Arena seems pretty lame.
It's dumb.
Yeah, but yeah, I was surprised with how much I enjoyed the Pokemon card game. I'm finding that a lot of people collect the cards and don't play the game. They just aren't into it.
People are weird.
See if I can enlarge this and see if I'm looking at the correct card here. Share
Oh,
screen.
good night, Bob.
Good night, Bob. Thank you for joining.
Oh, good night, Andrea.
Good night to you too. They're like talking Pokemon. I'm out of here.
Fair.
Is this the guy you were talking about? Phalanx V basic. Of course, there's a lag from what they're hearing to when they can respond.
Right.
Oh, Neil's got to go to. We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Oh,
Well, bye, audience. I guess that's going to
Yeah.
call an end to Geek Tank After Hours.
Yep.
My whiskey's done. Perfect timing.
Great timing. All right. Well, thank you once again, everybody, for coming by. We are saying night to.
Oh, Bob is still hanging. Okay, cool.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's it. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. So, but you're out of whiskey. So
I have more, but if you want to call it. That's cool.
yeah, we should call it. We're here we're here nearly every Monday night, same time, 9 to 10.
Yeah,
Guy,
good to
yeah.
chat.
It's
Thanks for
great.
coming.
Yeah. Made my night.
Heck yeah.
All right. Well, sweet. Thanks again for joining us. I'm going to start the end credits here. You guys have an awesome week, and hopefully see some of you next Monday.
Heck yeah.
Right. I've been Troy.
I've been Alex.
And this has been Geek Tank.